Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is the Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP.
Whoa.
He's damn near 50 years old, and he's currently the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
How you doing, Joe?
Whoa.
What's up, fellas? Doing well.
Hey, I know we love you here in Indy. I didn't know you loved Indy. Is that your basement? Where are you right now?
Sweet basement. Wow.
Is that your basement?
Have you ever been in this room? There's like a museum in the facility.
Oh, that's the museum in the facility. I thought that was maybe your basement. That's in the facility. Okay, I didn't know how quickly you. Yeah, I didn't know how quickly you got in there. Okay, so you're at the facility, which is good news. We're getting this work in on this Overreaction Monday. How do you feel after yesterday's big win, and how do you feel about the team as a whole right now, Joe?
Man, I mean, listen, as you know, anytime you get a win in the NFL, it's unbelievable feeling. It's one of the hardest things to do, and I mean, it never gets old. There's definitely some frustrations, at least on my end, like just sitting over on the sideline a couple times yesterday. But man, our defense got the job done, and it was an awesome win.
Okay, so let's talk about your conversation with Aditi afterwards. You obviously put over Michael Pittman Jr. in a big way. I think one of the boys is going to ask you about that here in a little bit. But you also said, like, it's not my decision on whether or not I play. You know, that's a coach's decision in your answer there. The decision was made for you to play AR, emergency quarterback number 3. I know that was disputed all week or conversated about outside the building. Mentally for you, handling that plus like whether or not you're going to play day to day, how has it been and how's your relationship still with AR, who we all hope is healthy or on his way to healthy?
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, listen, I think getting a couple weeks under my belt before this week was definitely good. I mean, just having the practice kind of going into the Jacksonville week and all that. I think it helps prepare you and lock you in a little bit more than you are the previous few weeks, just naturally. So I think just having that experience from the last couple of weeks, I was able to draw on that a little bit and then just kind of, take every day for what it was and make sure I was prepared.
How do you feel about the conversation, though, that is happening? It is very large. Obviously, we're having it on this program because I watch, but it is AR. Obviously, you understand the situation. Drafted number 4 overall to be the future of organization. You're brought in to be backup quarterback, veteran, hopefully guide and lead. Injury happens, you get in, you play good ball. Future still is AR. Do you guys talk, you and AR, have those conversations? What is the relationship between you two through it all?
No, we don't have any conversations like that. I mean, listen, every one of us in the locker room has a job and a role on this team. And the end goal is for us to be, a division-winning playoff team, and let's go see what we can do. And I know what my role is, and my role is to go out there and be prepared at all times. And when I am called upon, make sure that I can put our team in position to win football games. And I understand that. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to have a blast, and I'm going to, believe me, yeah, I'm going to do all those things. But, I understand my role, and I'm just trying to make sure I can do that the best I can.
You're kicking ass out there, dude.
You're
kicking so much ass. It is a blast to watch. And you're seemingly the perfect person for the relationship in the situation. Colts fans are lucky for the dubs, excited for the future as well. AJ has a question for you, Joe.
Joe, I want to, when I watch you play, and I've told Pat and the boys this many times, you look so comfortable in the pocket, standing tall, so patient. Looks like you have, hey, there's no worries. I'm just going to go through my progressions. Here we go. Get the ball out to whoever's open. Is that in reality how you feel? Because that's what it looks like. And how is that compared to maybe early on in your career?
Yeah, I think sometimes that's probably the truth, but it's definitely not all the time. I try to put on a good face and trick myself into thinking that's the case because, when you do feel comfortable in the pocket, when you trick yourself into feeling like, hey, I got this and I'm going to be able to get the ball out, go through my progressions, that's when your mind's at best to actually do those things. When all of a sudden there's a little bit of you're not sure whether a guy's coming free or if the guys are going to do the job. If you start thinking about those things, well, now you're always going to speed things up. You're not going to see things as well. You're going to be moving your feet way too much. And I think it's constantly that game in your mind that you're getting yourself to sit there and relax. And I think when people talk about the speed of the game, it's not that the game is that much faster. It's not that everybody in the field is that much faster. I mean, there are guys that are faster and all those things, but it's making the moment too big that usually speeds things up. I mean, anytime we all do something for the first time, it usually seems way faster than it actually is. And that's because our brain scrambled. We're not seeing it for what it is. So you just kind of have to constantly remind yourself of that.
How often over the last 2 years, end of season with Browns, here with Colts, have you seen anything new How much of your recall is happening with these defenses? Legit. I think Aaron told us one time during an Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, he saw a defense and he was like, I thought back to 2006 when I saw the same. Are you similar? Is that type of thing? And
it's funny how defenses kind of come full circle. I mean, and when I first come into the league, they're doing this, and now I feel like they're kind of going back to more traditional type stuff. But they do some things on third down that maybe you haven't seen before, and all those things. I think what happens as you're in the league longer, you understand the things that you need to pay attention to and the things that are just kind of eye candy and they're there to distract you and get you off your base. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you have a good idea of what those safeties are doing and are guys pressed, are they playing man, you can rely on those simple basics to play fast football.
You got a lot of dudes walking by you during that Aditi interview from Tennessee Titans going, legend. Legend. That had to be cool. That had to be legitimately has to.
Yeah, listen. I mean, who wouldn't enjoy a little bit of that? Whose ego wouldn't enjoy a little bit of that? It's cool. I mean,
these kids were in high school when you were balling.
I know. It's. I don't think of it that way, but in those moments when you can kind of step back and guys are walking by, it's awesome to be able to do this and still be able to do this. So yeah,
you've earned it. We're lucky for you here in Indianapolis. D-But's got a question for you.
Yeah, speaking of, some of these guys are probably in high school, middle school, and I may or may not have put out a tweet. 2024 Joe Flacco is the best quarterback in the league. He threw an interception. I'm gonna need you to have my back going forward. But these young guys, man, I know A.D. Mitchell, Josh Downs kind of caught some flack going into this game. Michael Pittman Jr. was talks about him going potentially on IR. He shows up huge. Like, what is it like with those young wide receiver? AP averaging, I think, 28 yards per catch. Like, what's the vibe with that young wide receiver room?
It's a lot of fun because you have young guys, like a combination of like young guys that are really eager to get the ball in their hands. Like, they want the ball, which is awesome because you want guys that want to show up on game day. And I think Pitt's still a young guy too, but he's kind of like a veteran in that room. And like, just with his toughness and like the model that he puts out there to kind of show up on Sundays and be ready to go no matter what, it's an awesome combination right now. And they're a lot of fun to kind of play with. I mean, they're constantly coming up to you on the sideline and, say, hey, how about this? I could have this, or hey, thanks for trusting me on that one. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Alec Pierce, obviously, watching him blossom and go get it, like what everybody's kind of talked about happening in practices. We're seeing it in games now. A lot of fun. The Pittman Jr. stuff, he was going to IR last week. That was the news.
Yeah.
That was legit, right? That was kind of what was happening. Can you explain that from your situation or your vantage?
Listen, I think we were kind of just waiting. I saw him in the training room a little bit and doing his thing and getting prepared and taking notes in the meeting room and all that stuff. So, I did see. I think I woke up in one morning and was looking at scores or something and saw Pittman out 2 weeks or whatever I saw. But man, that's what football is all about. I mean, it's going out there and playing in that kind of shape, understanding that, hey, I feel like I can go. I'm going to do it. If I feel like I can go, I'm going to go show up for my team. And listen, that's what makes really good teams. And like, those are the kind of guys you need to put your team together with. And did the respect that you gain in that locker room, I don't think it gets talked about enough. I mean, I think there's a lot of times where guys get hurt and they feel like it's going to affect their contract or, affect different things. And sometimes it does. And I think wrongfully so. I think being tough in this sport is still probably the most important thing in terms of being successful. So
hell yeah, Joe. Hey, that was a good speech.
Guys are scared to put bad tape out there. That's real, though, Joe. Guys are like, I don't want to put any bad tape out there, especially if they like contracts. I'm like, man, I don't know. I get both sides of it.
Yeah, because I guess
I've seen it hurt guys, and I've seen it help guys. So it's like, it's so tough. But, man, at least for me, you're getting a ton of respect. So.
You know who his coach is?
Who's that?
Reggie Wayne. Our former teammate. He was a dog. He was playing. If he could walk, he was playing. Sure. Tore his tricep. Wore that big-ass J.J. Watt arm sleeve for the rest of the year. So I'm sure him playing for Reggie Wayne has a lot to do with that as well.
And practice every day.
Every day.
Never, no G days.
Nope.
No reps off every day. Reggie was out there.
And we saw him coaching. He had like the pad. He was trying to like punch the ball out every single rep when we were there for training camp 2 years ago.
Yeah, he was, and I think he said a lot of you guys wanted to jump off the train, I think, for Alec Pierce or something like that. He's like loving coaching over there too. How is the vibes of the building? Good?
Listen, you know how it is on a Monday after a win, man. Everybody's feeling good. Just got to keep that in check a little bit. Which I think this game was good to do that. It was a win, but it was a tough win, So there was definitely things to kind of get in there and coach and correct, which is good.
Okay, now for you, it doesn't seem like there's much. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Joe, I watched you a ton, obviously, when you were with the Ravens versus the Steelers. And Pat gave a stat earlier that you're averaging over 300 a game since you came back for the Browns last season. And I said last
Number
week,
one in the NFL, by the way.
Number one in the
NFL.
In the NFL. And I said last week that this is the best Joe Flacco has ever played in his entire career. I said besides the 2012 playoff run, which was unbelievable. What would you agree or disagree that this is some of the best football that you've played in your career?
It's a tough question, and I think there's multiple parts to that. I mean, listen, I think if you're looking at statistics, then I'm not going to argue you. I think that's probably true. I do also think as you get older, I mean, it is a position that if you can keep yourself in shape, you should get better at. So I would say that I have gotten better. I hope I've gotten better over the years. On the other side of that, though, in Baltimore, we weren't always playing that style, man. I mean, we were making sure that we were the physical domination. We were that physical team that was going to come in and impose our will. And when it got late, and it wasn't always about going out and throwing for 300 yards and doing those things. It was about playing good football and really inflicting our style of pain on teams. And I think you can see the success that they kind of have with that style. And then especially as it gets late in the year, when you have to play tough defenses week in and week out, that style definitely kind of comes to light, and you can see more of that. But I listen, like I said, it's there's a couple things to it. If you look at the stats, for sure, man. I mean, I'm playing my best ball, but I think there's a lot more to it than that at the end of the day.
Yeah, playing winning football is a big deal, and agreeing to do that as opposed to just running up stats is obviously a personality trait that we appreciate the shit out of.
Hell yeah, Joe.
Certainly do. And you talked about Baltimore and their style of play and everything like that. I don't know how they're allowed to get Derrick Henry. I don't know how. I don't know how that was allowed. That should have been one of those ones where the commissioner comes in.
Goodell.
Yes, nah, this ain't.
No chance.
Because it's all working out exactly how.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Patrick Ricard's big ass is still back there.
It's working.
Dude, yeah, that's wild, man. It's awesome. On one end, it's so cool to see that. He comes in as a D lineman. He's out there freaking playing fullback, and now he's leading Derrick Henry through. So it's pretty sweet.
Moving too. Hey, he's got feet like a shortbird.
Yeah.
Running routes.
He is. He's got hands
Looking
too.
for the ball.
Patrick Ricard doing his thing. All right, let's talk a little bit off football. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Joe, do you feel like you're completely acclimated to the city now? Obviously, last year being in Cleveland, it's kind of a whirlwind. You get there and, you played incredible. But being comfortable with who you are at your age and like knowing what you can do on the field, how much does that help when you feel comfortable in a new city that you haven't been to before? And like, does it kind of feel like home now that you've been here for a while?
Welcome, by the way.
For sure, yeah. I mean, listen, on Friday night we went out to one of the little scare parks in town and scared the hell out of my little kids and had people coming up and saying hello, and it felt like we were at home. And to have my family here, to be able to do those kind of things with definitely makes it feel really good.
Connor said he saw 2 Joe Flacco Colts jerseys downtown.
Those
are custom made. Those are custom made, brother.
There's going to be more.
My wife's ordering jerseys and handing them out downtown.
That's good support. That's good
I'll
team.
be down there.
Yeah. Somebody taking a free jersey, too. We'd love that. Connor has a question for you, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, I'm not sure if you saw, but they have officially changed the guidelines for the Comeback Player of the Year award. They're actually calling it the Joe Flacco guidelines now. How pissed are you that these weren't in place last year when you were up for it? And do you expect other guys to maybe pass on the award if they get it like you did?
Listen, I would normally be all for turning stuff down like that, but I wasn't. I was a little positivity coming my way. I wasn't turning. I feel like that's kind of like a shot at me. Like, what the hell? We gave Joe Flacco this award. We can't do that anymore. But yeah, listen, I definitely felt a little bit weird about getting that. But like I said, at this point in my career, whatever, dude. Give me that. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I like give a speech, get all dressed up.
Sure.
Big
Yeah,
to-do.
exactly.
It's a big to-do for the wife. I mean, hey, Joe, we appreciate the hell out of you, man. You've been handling it all, obviously, with the epitome of class. And I'm excited to see how it all shapes up. We're lucky that we have you, though, here in Indianapolis. You need to know that.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys having me on. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, museum's pretty cool, man. What is?
It is. It's crazy. It's crazy in here. If you haven't seen this, it is. It's pretty cool.
Go ahead and give a little spinsy. Go give a little spinsy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give a
Is it
little.
a closet? Like, how big is it?
Yeah, is that a computer?
It's like a couple meeting rooms, probably like a couple, like maybe like 2 meeting rooms worth of size. I mean,
Look at Reggie just cooking some brawn in the background. Just absolutely cooking. Andrew Luck and T.Y., what a tag team they were.
Yeah, what a duo.
Dallas Clark's going into the Ring of Honor this weekend.
No way.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
there you go. I played with Dallas in Baltimore.
He's the man, isn't he? He's the man.
Yeah.
You guys, did he have that? No, that was with us.
He
Against-
did. He had one in Baltimore, too.
Yeah, him and Stokely came in like, man, what I forget what year.
8? 7?
No, it was later
12.
than that.
12.
It was like 13 or 15. I think it was 2013.
After the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because what? Grigson, Chuck,
You have to
12.
You have to check on that, but
212.
they were awesome.
They cut everybody.
Yeah.
They cut all my friends. Cut them all.
Tough year.
See you guys. Don't answer your phone, Pat. They're cutting fucking everybody. What do you mean? They cut Peyton. Oh, okay. They're cutting everybody.
What?
All right, sweet. Anyways, we're lucky you're there. We're thankful for Coach Steichen, too. Tell him we said what's up. And all the boys,
Will do.
ladies and gentlemen, Joe Flack.
Yeah, Joe.